Hi Amiya. I am pleased to find you here.
Hi Mr. Jackson. I am pleased to know that you have got time for this extra lesson.
Naturally. But what is troubling you? I understand you have some difficulties regarding some grammar.
Yes, Mr. Jackson. It is the Concord which causes me some distress.
Wonderful. We can easily see to that. There are really just 9 rules for you to learn. Well, first of all, do you know what Concord is about?
I think so. Is it not something about subject-verb agreement?
Spot on. Concord is the grammatical relationship between a subject and a verb, or a pronoun and its verb, or a demonstrative adjective and the word it modifies.
Could you please give me a few examples?
Well, naturally. 1. The students attend a language class. 2. This course has taught me a lot. 3. He is interested in Taekwondo. And 4. They write tests every day. Do you get this?
I hope so. You make it sound so easy.
Well, if the subject and verb of a sentence do not agree, that sentence is ungrammatical. We therefore speak of errors in agreement, or faulty agreement. To avoid this, we must pay attention to the rules of Concord. The 9 rules. Do you remember?
Yes. You began by telling me that there were 9 rules. Please tell me about them.
Okay then. Well, rule number 1. A verb must agree with its subject in number/person. That is, a singular verb should follow a singular subject, and a plural verb should follow a plural subject. I am wondering if you could give me a few examples.
Okay, let me try. 1. The book is on the table. And 2. The books are outdated.
Exactly. You really know this.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Please carry on.
Okay then. But singular subjects followed by such words as with, together with, as well as accompanied by, take singular verbs. The phrases introduced by these expressions are not considered as part of the subject and so do not change the number, although they do suggest plural meaning.
It's okay, I think I understand.
Oh, do you now? Could you please give me a few examples?
Let me try. 1. The Vice-Chancellor, as well as his staff, is hardworking. 2. Miriam, together with her friends, is here. And 3. The teacher, accompanied by the students, has arrived.
Once again, you are absolutely right. Well done. Let's move on to rule number 2, okay?
Please do.
Okay then. Indefinite pronouns such as everyone, everybody, nobody, somebody, take singular verbs. Let me give you a few examples. 1. Everyone is to blame. 2. Someone has taken it. And 3. Everybody dislikes a cheat.
I get this. Not hard at all.
There are, however, other subjects which appear deceptively plural, but function as singular. Let me give you some examples. 1. Each of the students owns a car. 2. One of the teachers appears lazy. And 3. More than one student has complained about her laziness.
Don't worry. I get it.
Well, moving on to rule number 3 then. When 2 or more subjects are joined by and refer to the same person or thing, the verb is in the singular. However, compound subjects referring to 2 different people or things take plural verbs.
Examples, please?
Well, naturally. 1. His brother and sponsor was there to help him. 2. The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces has arrived. 3. A dog and a cat are seldom friends. And 4. The man and his wife have arrived.
Don't worry. I get it. Let's move on.
Okay then. Rule number 4. When 2 subjects, a compound subject, refer to the same thing or is thought of as a single idea, or a unit, a singular verb is used. A few examples could be: 1. Macaroni and cheese is her favorite dish. 2. Rice and stew sounds delicious. And 3. Bread and butter is a snack that is easy to prepare. Is this too hard for you?
No. I think I understand. Do carry on.
Okay, moving on to rule number 5. Some nouns are plural, in form but are singular in meaning, and therefore take singular verbs. Any questions?
Just a few examples, please.
Gladly. 1. The United Nations has its headquarters in New York. 2. Economics is an interesting subject. And 3. The sports news was aired an hour ago. Keep in mind that they are other words that are always in the singular. For instance, information, music, advice, United States, evidence, aid, research, phonetics, semantics, physics, furniture, luggage, equipment, knowledge, stationery and mathematics.
But how will I know?
Easily. You can look it up in a dictionary.
Okay, great. Rule number 6 then.
That's the spirit. Well, rule number 6. When singular subjects are joined by not only, but also, neither, nor, either, or, the verb is in the singular. Examples of this could be 1. Not only the governor but also his wife was present at the rally. 2. Either the teacher or the class representative is expected to attend the meeting. And 3. Neither the boy nor his father has eaten. However, if the subjects differ in number/person, that is, one subject is in the singular and the other is in the plural, the verb agrees with the subject noun nearer to it. Examples of this could be 1. Either the students or the teacher has to be present. And 2. Neither the teacher nor the students seem lazy.
I really understand this. Great fun.
Well, let's keep the momentum then, and move to rule number 7. A collective noun takes a singular verb when a group is regarded as one unit. But a collective noun takes a plural verb when emphasis is placed on the individual members of the group. That is, the individual members of the group are acting separately.
That does sound a bit hard. You must give me a few examples.
Surely. 1. The audience was clapping. That is, together. 2. The audience were arriving. That is, separately. 3. The committee are unable to agree on a date for the convocation. Once again, separately. And 4. The committee is meeting today. Only this time, together.
I believe I understand.
Great. Let's do rule number 8 then. A demonstrative adjective such as this, that, these, those must agree in number with the noun it modifies. Examples of this could be 1. That kind of music is outdated. 2. Those kinds of cars are in high demand. 3. These types of errors occur often. And 4. This wristwatch is expensive. To tell if I need to slow down. I want you to understand all of this.
No. It is okay, I can handle this. I just don't want to look stupid.
You are doing just fine. Let's try the final rule, number 9, now. Nouns, subjects that are always regarded as plural take plural verbs. Some of the words are police, cattle and people. A few examples on how to use them could be 1. The cattle look healthy. 2. The police are hard-working. And 3. The people of England love their Prime Minister.
Great. I understand. Now, was that really all?
Well, just one more thing. Be careful not to mix the subjunctive with the congruency problem. Subjunctive, opposite indicative, appears in English for the most part only with the verb to be. In the hypothetical phrases, if he were to blame, he should be blamed, but he could not really be blamed. Besides, do keep in mind that the rules of Concord, which I have just taught you, are by no means exhaustive, but only serve to provide some information on the subject.
Well, Mr. Jackson, thank you so much for taking your time to explain it to me. Do enjoy the holidays. I look forward to attend your class after Christmas.
Well, thank you too. Happy holidays.